So he said, quote, "We started doing Shrek 4 or Shrek 5 months ago. I did this. I recorded the first act and we'll be doing it this year. We'll finish it up. Shrek is coming out and Donkey's going to have his own movie. We're going to do Donkey as well. So we're going to do a Shrek and then we're going to do a Donkey movie." It's just kind of funny because he is talking like Donkey in this quote that I just read. He also said, "No, not at the same time. I started recording Shrek. I think it's coming out in 2025, and we're doing a Donkey one next." Um,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nerdy and Nice. We are here to talk to you all about everything going on in entertainment, pop culture, movies, TV, and also to wish you if you're in the United States, a happy upcoming 4th of July. Broken up work week. Lacey, are you off Friday? Is it a long weekend for you, or do you have to work Friday?
I am off Friday. I'm off Thursday and Friday. My company was nice and gave me the time off.
I don't have it off.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think the company just assumed like people are probably going to take the Friday off, so we'll just give it to you.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be all that busy, and I work from home, so
yeah, it's pretty nice.
Maybe I'll be out in the yard and just checking my phone. But anyway, welcome everybody to Nerdy and Nice. It's time for us to talk about the stuff we love. So Lacey, a lot going on in the world of movies, TV, entertainment, pop culture, all that good stuff. So first, just a quick thank you to everybody who's been listening to the podcast. We appreciate that very much. Or if you're watching it on the TRB YouTube channel, make sure you do subscribe because Nerdy and Nice, obviously, if you're listening to it, you found it, but it's on its own feed. So it's separate from the Resistance broadcast. So just find it on Apple, Spotify, wherever, and make sure you hit follow and subscribe. We're hitting you with new episodes every Monday to keep you up to date on not only what's going on with all this stuff, but our thoughts on it, which we're hoping that's why you're here. So the first thing, Lacey, last week we got a little salty on the Jurassic franchise.
We did.
I think that is not...
I think we called the episode that it should be extinct.
Yeah, that was the title of our episode.
So I think salty is
a
little bit of an understatement.
Okay, yeah. So we got a little bit dark and critical.
I would say brutally honest.
Yeah. But now we have Scarlett Johansson coming out and saying that this movie's going to be great. She wants everyone to know that it's going to be great because David Koepp is back and he wrote the original Jurassic Park. So Scarlett's out there just letting us know that we are wrong and that this movie is going to be excellent. And I still am not sure if I'm going to see it in the theaters.
She also says that she begged to be a part of it. So she said that she begged to be a part of this franchise and said that they could kill her, feed her to whatever animal they want. She just wants to be in the movie.
So I wonder, like, that doesn't inspire confidence in me. If it's just like a bucket list thing for Scarlett Johansson. You know, she was probably about 9 when the first one came out, 9 or 10. So I was like 11, and it definitely is in our wheelhouse of movies that like awed us when we saw it in the theater. So maybe it's one of those things for her where she just wants to say she was in it. But yeah,
I think they're already playing Damage Control on this movie, and it has nothing's even happened with it yet.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we feel and see something that we haven't seen before, that gives us that excitement that the first one did. So I'm open to be wowed, but they've hurt me enough where it's like you really gotta win me back. So we'll see. But that's the extent of our Jurassic franchise talk on this one. I know we talked a bit last time. We have other really cool stuff I'm really excited about. So Lacey, let's look into what's happening.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Enough, I get the point.
Yeah, so it's funny that you kicked it off with a movie we were both like, meh, I don't know about this. Because this next one is something that I know that you are extremely excited about. And I am such an enabler and all week have been sending you these photos from this set, which would be the Superman movie that is currently being filmed in Cleveland, Ohio. Surprisingly, it's not filmed in New York. I'm assuming it's because Cleveland kind of has that old school charm to it in the buildings that like you might not see in more advanced cities. But yeah, so photos have leaked from the set. A lot of photographers around. Even some like news reporters that are standing on the street where the barrier is being like, I am here right now on the Superman set, and like no one's stopping them, which we'll get into like what we think James Gunn, how confident he is about this. But the photos have leaked of the main characters. So we have Lois in a purple sweater. She's walking around. There's a lot of rubble on the streets. You have Superman in his suit, which we are now seeing in the bright of day. A lot of military presence. Looks like some type of airplane might have crashed into the street, which the whole Daily Planet crew comes out of the airplane one by one, which they got pictures of, as well as Superman's alter ego, Clark Kent. So what are your thoughts as the big Superman fan of the two of us? Are you feeling more confident? I know you were excited about the other photo that was teased out from James Gunn of him sitting, kind of putting his boots on. But now that you've seen this thing out and about, the suit and him as Superman, what do you think?
Yeah, and I know we posted it. We retweeted my tweet about this, but I feel like these characters look like they're pulled right off the pages of the comic books in a good way. I think,
or the animated series, honestly.
Yeah. But Rachel Brosnahan looks like a perfect Lois. Like they have that just dark, flowing, full hair that sometimes in the comics would have like a blue like tint on it. It just like looks. It's like James Gunn knows exactly what he's going for. And that's what makes him so good, is he clearly has a vision of things and he knows how to articulate it and get everyone to bring his vision to life. And what I'm seeing here is fresh. It feels like the Superman he's been pitching to us, which is that just unbreakably noble goodness. And it's back to the bright colors. It's more of the classic. He has the trunks. He has the yellow S on the cape, which had been missing for a long time. And he just looks the part. He looks like if you were in peril and that guy showed up, you'd be like, we're going to be okay. And he's here to help us. And I think she's going to, like, Rachel Brosnahan's going to be a great Lois Lane. I think David Cornsweet is going to be a great Superman. All the other castings that I've seen look fantastic, and the aesthetic of these sets look like it has this old school sensibility while probably taking place in modern times. And I even like how they made him look like Clark, because they gave him like his hair is like more in his face, so it's harder to see.
Very curly.
Yeah. So everything I'm seeing is getting me even more excited, and I believe we're about a year away from when this comes out. So I'm pumped. I'm even more bought in, because I know we're seeing just set photos, candid shots. So this isn't with any sort of visual effects or post-production, and it already looks great. So I am bought in. I am sold. I cannot wait for James Gunn to kick off his DC, and I think this Superman is going to be a hit. I think they're going to do it the right way. He's going to know how to market it to a younger audience, and we might finally have another big Superman hit on our hands.
Yeah, I think these photos show that the care and full thought out plan for this character and where all these characters are going under James Gunn is just so clear as day, to pun it a little bit. Like you said, all the colors are so bright and vivid and look like they've walked off the page. And it's what I've been missing from Marvel and DC movies. And I think the only time that I've really gotten that vibe of like, this is a over the top, wonderful, colorful adventure is with Guardians of the Galaxy, which was also James Gunn. Everything else has been so dark and dreary and gritty. And look, I get it. Some people like that. Some people are into that like Zack Snyder look, and that's fine. I'm not. I want something to look like it is unbelievably, iconic superhero, like Christopher Reeves type stuff. Like, I want to see a man flying through the air that's going to save cats out of trees. Like,
Mhm.
I want that wholesome kind of warm hug type superhero movie, which we haven't gotten in a long time. And I think that's what James Gunn's going for here. I think everybody looks great. I love his Clark Kent with the curly hair in the front, which is
Yeah.
such a contrast from his Superman with the kind of greased back hair, but still has the curl in the front, which we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
You can see how he would fool people because they do look so different, but at the same time, you can tell it's the same person.
You're right.
But I kind of hinted at it earlier. I'm very surprised how it seems like James Gunn doesn't care that people are taking photos. He doesn't care that people are there. He doesn't care that people are watching. And I kind of love that. We come from the fandom and or franchise of Star Wars, which is so secretive and so kind of don't tell anybody anything, NDAs everywhere. Don't. Whereas this is just out in the open in Cleveland, Ohio. You can go down the street and you see videos of the set where there's people
Yeah.
just like walking to work and they're like, oh, what's going on here? And he's not telling people to go away. He's not telling people not to take pictures. I'm sure he would like people not to, but he doesn't seem like he really cares. He's doing his thing. He's like, people are going to take pictures whether I tell them to or not. So go ahead, take your pictures. He
Yeah.
seems like he's very proud of what he's doing. From the moment he started his position at DC Comics, he's been so open and transparent with what his plans are and has been so quick to shut down any rumors or misinformation, which I thoroughly appreciate because there's nothing worse right now on the internet, in fandom spaces, or in general than misinformation. Than someone saying, oh, this is happening or this person said this. He is so quick to be like, nope, that didn't happen. Never said that. That's not going on.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
yeah, I feel really good about this movie. And I'm not even the biggest Superman fan, but I'm a James Gunn fan. So I will be going to see this when it comes out. And I'm
Oh,
rooting
nice.
for him. I hope that it ends up being the movie that he hopes it is, that all Superman fans are hoping that it is. Because right now it looks like a really fun movie. And the people on set look like they're having an amazing time, which I think speaks to the environment that he creates on his
Yeah.
set.
And there's he cast the Kents, Jonathan and Martha.
Mhm.
So you're gonna get probably some Smallville stuff, unless they bring the Kents to Metropolis or whatever. But like, what's great about James Gunn too is it is going to be a fun movie. It's going to be aesthetically pleasing, just like you were saying with Guardians. There's always something to be looking at. It's a really fun visual experience.
It's gonna be funny. It's gonna have great
It's gonna be funny.
humor.
It's gonna have heart. It's gonna
Yeah.
have heart, and that's important for Superman. Which I thought Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan and the Nolans did a great job with Henry Cavill. Was how do you take this borderline invincible person and humanize him? And I thought they did a great job in Man of Steel doing that. And I know in his own version here, Gunn's going to bring that out too, because he did a great job of that with Guardians. And he even did a good job with that with his Suicide Squad. So I'm very confident in this, and I'm very excited for it. So, and the more I hear about it, the more I get excited. So give me more Superman.
Yeah, James Gunn just seems to get it. He
And I'm
gets
curious.
what makes these successful.
I'm curious. We talked about Glenn Powell saying, "Oh, I'd like to be Batman." That's the next thing I'm curious about, because I wonder if Batman appears in this at all, or they keep him off. But a Batman casting is going to be coming soon. Now that you have Superman and they're already filming that, that's going to be the next natural one, because it's the two biggest comic book heroes to me are Batman and Superman. So one has to be coming next, and I'm very curious. I'm just so excited that we're launching a brand new DC, and it feels good, it feels new, it feels fresh, and James Gunn is at the helm. So it's all good for me right now.
And for people trying to keep track at home, the Robert Pattinson Batman, the Batman, is not in this universe. That is
Nope.
completely separate from this.
Yep.
I know it's confusing sometimes, being like, where does this fit into the canon universe of these stories, especially with Marvel and everything? This is its own new kickoff of James Gunn universe, the DC universe. So that Batman is still happening. They've pushed it off another year, I believe, into 2026. But it is not in this one, this universe.
No,
It would
and
be
it
a
wouldn't fit.
completely different Batman. Yeah, no, it's a different vibe.
darker noir type thing, and I'm looking forward to that too. But I'm curious what James Gunn's Batman's going to be like.
Yeah, I did like the Robert Pattinson Batman. I liked it
Yeah.
more than the Ben Affleck Batman.
Did you? Yeah, and
Yeah.
Giacchino's music was really good too.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that was really good, Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, which I actually brought up, I think last week, being like, when are they going to make another one of those? I loved it so much. Well, spoiler alert, they're making another one. He's returning for Nobody 2, Bob Odenkirk. He's closed a deal to return to Nobody 2, a sequel to the acclaimed 2021 action thriller from Universal Pictures. Timo Tjahjanto. Oh my God, sorry. I'm so sorry.
Tjahjanto?
Yeah. The Night Comes for Us will direct with a script by Derek Kolstad from John Wick and The First Nobody. He's also writing with Aaron Rabin, which is from Jack Ryan. So that's really exciting. Did you see the first one, John?
I did. Yeah, I loved it.
I loved it. Oh my gosh, did I love this movie? I want to go watch it again, actually,
Was
now that
that-
we're talking about it.
Was that before Bob Odenkirk had his heart attack?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad he was okay because he's like, I've always thought he was so funny. I know he's known for like he got to start with sketch comedy, and he was he was in the finals in the running to be cast as Michael Scott in The Office, and that's why he had that cameo as the guy who was pretty much like him. But I've always liked him. I always thought he was an underrated actor. I have to admit this to our audience, though. I've seen Breaking Bad. I have not watched Better Call Saul yet. So that's another thing I got to get on my list of things to watch, talking about things we want to watch. But he's always been very good. And he's so funny that people almost don't talk about that he's actually a really good actor. And
he's so good.
He can beat people up too with the right director. So I thought Nobody was a fresh, came out of nowhere movie that was a surprise sleeper hit. And I love that they're making another one and that he's in it. So it's as simple as that for me. I will go for that ride because Nobody was a really cool, original, fun movie to watch.
Honestly, it was like an adult Home Alone. It was so good.
Yeah, you got Christopher Lloyd blowing people away with a shotgun. Like
Christopher Lloyd was the perfect example of using an older actor with what they're capable of doing and not forcing them to do things outside their skill set and or bringing in a stunt person that doesn't fit that person. Like when you see Harrison Ford punch people now, it's comical now. But like you're not really believing him running around and punching people. Like he's still fit, don't get me wrong, but he's not.
Oh, he's fit.
He's not what he was 20, 30 years ago, right? So
I could beat up Harrison Ford now, I think.
I would hope not. But the way they use Christopher, sure. But Christopher Lloyd, they didn't have him doing that. They gave him a shotgun and said, "You're an old man, act like an old man with a shotgun." And it was perfect.
And he's probably like, "You don't need me to make Back to the Future references? I could just do this?" That's great.
I think he made one. Didn't he make one? I forget what it was. He said something. He made some type of comment about that, but it wasn't like a on the nose one. It was like a little more subtle. But yeah, this movie was really, really good. It was one of those ones that I was on the edge of my seat. Like I wasn't looking at my phone. I wasn't worried what was going on. I didn't have to check anything. I was like locked in, staring at the screen for the whole movie.
And it'll probably make more than the first one. The first one,
I hope it does.
57 million, and it came out in March 2021. So not a great time. So I can see this being a nice little profitable hit with a low budget, and that may be how they got to start making more movies these days. But yeah.
And two things. I would love to see Bob Odenkirk win an award because he won nothing for Saul. And people were very mad, including someone put together a reel of him not winning or something. And it was so sad. Or like they had asked him on the carpet if he had a speech ready. And he was like, "No, I'm not going to win." Or like, "Oh, I don't really go." Yeah, it was just so sad. So I hope he wins something. But then also, I think this movie opens itself up to possibly scoring a stunt Oscar if they decide to start doing that. So that was something that they're discussing this past year, in the past month, actually. They announced that they're considering doing a stunt performance Oscar, which is a big deal because a lot of stunt work goes unnoticed and or not recognized. So for the Oscars to say, hey, we're going to add a category for stunt work, this
Yeah,
could
that's
be
really
one of the
cool.
movies that it gets that accolade. And I hope it does, because the scenes in the first one, like the bus scene,
I
the
gotta
house,
watch it
oh my
again.
God,
Yeah.
it's so good. So
Yeah.
good. Someone that's also returning to a very beloved character is Eddie Murphy. He's coming back. He's playing Shrek. Or not Shrek, Donkey in Shrek.
He's what?
Sorry, I was just looking at the word Shrek. So he gave an update recently when he was doing press for the Beverly Hills Cop. Did you watch that yet?
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just know it's been on your list to watch.
Comes out July 3rd, so Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's coming out this week. Okay, so he's doing press, which is understandable. And he delivered an update on Shrek 5 and also gave the announcement that he's doing a Donkey spin-off movie. This is coming from Collider. So he said, quote, "We started doing Shrek 4 or Shrek 5 months ago. I did this. I recorded the first act and we'll be doing it this year. We'll finish it up. Shrek is coming out and Donkey's going to have his own movie. We're going to do Donkey as well. So we're going to do a Shrek and then we're going to do a Donkey movie." It's just kind of funny because he is talking like Donkey in this quote that I just read. He also said, "No, not at the same time. I started recording Shrek. I think it's coming out in 2025, and we're doing a Donkey one next." Um, I'm actually really glad I read that out because it's even more comical now that I read it out. But yeah, I think he was worried he gave away too much. I think he started panicking through his quote. Just like, yeah, oh God, we're doing it. Look, they just announced the Shrek world and opened it up at Universal in Florida. People love Shrek. It's one of those movies that always trends. It has such a soft spot with a lot of people. It made so much money. I'm not surprised that they're making more of them. And I'm not surprised that Donkey's getting his own movie because he's such a lovable character. One of my friends actually plays the donkey in Universal, the one that talks to you.
Really?
Yeah, he does the whole voice. I think he's the one that started that actually in Universal, and he used to do it all the time. Now someone else does it, I think, but like the original one that like would talk to you in the park that would like make fun of you through a microphone with a camera
Oh,
with the
nice.
puppet. Yeah, he would do that. But so will you see Shrek 5 and are you excited for a Donkey movie?
Shrek 5 could probably be something I'd take my kids to because they just, I don't know if they finished it, but they just watched Shrek for the first time like a week ago.
I did too, actually. Yes, I watched Shrek
Oh,
with
wow.
Daisy.
Yeah. So I think they were entertained by it. So we're going to give that another go. So if they end up enjoying it, sure. Why not? I don't think I would go to the theater if it was just me because I would, the limited times I'm able to get to the theater, I want to see something that I definitely want to see.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I am liking the, not resurgence, but Eddie Murphy just really being back in the mix. He came back with Dolomite Is My Name for Prime, obviously Beverly Hills Cop, XLF, and now this franchise, which is a monster franchise for DreamWorks. It's definitely DreamWorks' Toy Story. It's their,
Mhm.
like, Shrek is their main one. And the fact that they're already up to 5 is crazy. But a Donkey, I agree. A Donkey spin-off movie makes sense because they did Puss in Boots with Antonio Banderas.
Which was successful.
That made a lot of money. And that was 13 years ago. So
Mhm.
if you give Eddie Murphy his own story as Donkey and make it at least just a fun adventure, not too complicated, and let him improv in the way Eddie Murphy does and make the way he makes these things better, I could see that being great in the
Mhm.
way that, Robin Williams improved his lines as the genie in Aladdin. It's like, let Eddie Murphy run with it and let him have some fun and play, which they'll always do because he's Eddie Murphy. I mean, this guy's been killing people with comedy for over 40 years and he's only like 62. Like Eddie
Mhm.
Murphy got his start when he was like a 21-year-old kid. So I'm all in on this too. I don't know if I'm being too positive on this episode today. Maybe we need to talk about Jurassic Park a bit more. I have a bit I have a bit of thoughts to say about some of the trailers coming up in our next segment, but I'm down with this. I'm down with this.
I'm excited for it because if the same people that made the originals are in on it, which I'm not sure if they are, I couldn't see it being bad. Like I said, I just watched the original the other day and it still sticks. The jokes are still funny. I still laughed out loud. I don't think my daughter really understood a lot of the stuff that was going on, but that's fine. She thinks the donkey's funny though, which would make this
That's
movie
huge. Yeah.
even more important. Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does in the spinoff movie if he's still with his dragon lady and their half donkey, half dragon kids. It's gonna be delayed. I can't wait to see
Wait,
it.
they have a kid?
They have kids. I think in the second one, they have like half donkey, half dragon babies.
I don't
Remember,
know
they
that
fly.
I don't think I've seen all the Shreks now that I think about it.
Oh, you gotta. They're good.
So there's Shrek 2. I've seen those.
Happy Ever After, right?
Shrek
Happily
the
Ever After?
Third, and then
the
Shrek
Third.
Forever After,
Mm.
where Shrek has kids. But you're saying Donkey has kids too?
Donkey has kids with the dragon.
Wild stuff.
I think it's the second one because I used to babysit for this kid like back in the day, and all he would watch is that Shrek, the second Shrek.
I must have really lost touch with this franchise. I didn't even know they made a second Puss in Boots.
Oh, they made a second Puss in Boots?
It came out in 2022 called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and it made $485 million.
Wow. I'm Puss in Boots.
Yeah, and that's a cute character too. But
He is very cute.
if he can carry a movie,
Then Donkey
I think
definitely can.
Eddie Murphy's Donkey can carry a movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be fun. I remember seeing Shrek in the movie theater, and it was a blast. Everybody had a great time. It was one of those movies like everybody was laughing. It was great. So our last story in what's happening this week is something that I'm going to own up to for a second. So I originally said this project was a terrible idea. I'm pretty sure I mocked it at some point, which is that they are making an English language Squid Game remake. Now, I am the biggest Squid Game fan. I love Lee Jung-jae, who's now in The Acolyte. I was obsessed with that show. It's on my to rewatch list. It's just one of those stories and shows that really stuck with me as one of my favorite shows of all time. I love that show. And I watched it in Korean with the subtitles. Like, I am the person that's like, don't watch it any other way. Watch it how it's meant to be watched, with the actors, with their own voices. Like, experience the media how it's meant to be experienced in the Korean language. So it's great. I suggest you watch it. When they made this announcement that they were doing a Squid Game remake in English, I felt that it was very much a cash grab. I was like, this is so stupid. Like, why would you do this? The first one was so perfect. Like, what's going on? Like, what's the point? Because the original Squid Game is very much tied to the Korean culture, actual events that happened in Korea, and just the overall like culture and vibes of that country. So it just seemed to me, I was like, now you're going to take this and try to duplicate it here. Like, what are you actually going to do here that's going to be as impactful as the one in Korea?
That's a fair take.
Then they made before this, they made a like contest version, like kind of like Survivor of Squid Game, like a reality TV show.
Game show.
And again, which our friend Ash Crossan was on, not very long,
right.
But she was on it for like the red
Wait,
light.
was she
game.
Actually on the show, or did she just do like?
She was on it for the red light, green light game, and she died in the game. Or no, she made it to the licking part, the cookie part. Yeah.
Wait, what? I thought she just like went there and got to try on the outfit and like do press stuff.
I thought she was in the game. I thought she
I don't
played.
think she was in the game.
Oh, I thought she was in it. I just thought they cut around her and didn't have her in it.
I think they just let them like get the suits on and run around the set and like take photos and
Because
do.
she had like the blood splatter part. Like she died in the
I could be wrong.
cookie
Yeah.
game.
Well, either way, that's
The one where you cut it out, like that's where she died.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, anyway. She had a great time. Go watch the clips. They're online. I thought I would hate that. And I actually really enjoyed that, which funny enough, one of the characters from that show, Bryson or Brighton or whatever his name is, the evil guy who was one of the villains, was also in The Perfect Match on Netflix. They brought him over to the dating show. But anyway, regardless of all that, I was hating on this English version for a very long time until this news this week that the David Fincher is now developing the English language Squid Game and kind of directing it and overseeing it. And oh my goodness, they could not pick a better person for this. And I regret everything I've said. I am fully in. David Fincher, do your thing. I am obsessed with Mindhunter. I love so many things that he's done. There couldn't be a better person to do this. And when this announcement came out, I was like, why are they not doing Mindhunter season 3? But I will take this. Did you ever watch Mindhunter?
Yeah, I watched.
Oh, it's so good.
I think the first season.
It's so good.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. I mean, we're also talking Seven, Fight Club, you know, Panic Room, Zodiac.
Of course. I'm saying recent TV series that I've watched of his.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I think it's interesting. I liked the Squid Game show. I liked the game show. And I'll probably like this because I like a lot of David Fincher movies. They're very psychological.
Yeah, which is what this is. Yeah.
Yeah. So this may even, I wonder if he's going to take it further into like, because, like Lee Jung-jae's character was like the main character, but a lot of it was very on the surface and it was about the game. I wonder if Fincher's version is going to really take us into like the mind of the protagonist and make it a very cerebral, personal story.
Or make the games even more brutal.
Yeah, that could be too. So yeah, I think this is definitely a good pairing. I'm very interested in it. So I'm going to keep my eye on this because this is definitely something I would like to watch because I bought into the Squid Game hype. And for me, it hasn't gotten like, it's not like, oh, it's that thing that came and went. Like I if they bring up another season of the Korean Squid Game, I'll watch it. If
I think they're making it, yeah.
If they do another version of the reality game show contest version, I will watch that too. So I am not tapped out on Squid Game yet. And if David Fincher is going to take a crack at it for a major motion picture, that is interesting to me. So I am in with that as well.
I just hope that whatever they end up producing, both the English version and I hope for the reality TV series, if they keep doing that as well, that the original guy that created Squid Game is getting paid. Because he took over 10 years to develop that show and got denied so many times. And then they finally made it and it was such a big, huge success. Like you could not do anything without anybody talking about Squid Game. That I hope that he's just getting paid because I remember him saying that he only got like $100,000 or something like that for the show that ended up making Netflix like we're talking billions of dollars, millions of dollars, whatever. He actually in Squid Game is the guy that plays the doctor character.
Yeah,
is the creator of the show, which I thought was really cool because he put himself in his own show. But yeah, I can't wait to see this and. For this week, at least, that's what's happened. So now we're going to get into some trailer time.
Oh, God, I love that movie.
All right, we got 4 trailers to talk about here. We got the sentimental, the existential, the horror, and the rock.
It took me a second to realize what you said. And the rock. Yep.
And the rock, looking like the rock. As he always does in every movie. But first up, Lacey, we got a Christmas movie opening on Christmas Day. And that, of course, is Nosferatu. So What do you make of this take on this iconic horror character? Did you watch the trailer? I know you're not a big horror person, but you were like talking about Smile a lot last week. So is this a movie?
Hyperfixation, John.
Is this the type of movie you would see yourself seeing? This gothic tale about the iconic character of Nosferatu?
Absolutely not. I don't know why this is coming out on Christmas Day. It's kind of weird. I get it because they're like, hey, we got an audience of people that are going to go see the movies on Christmas. But yeah, no, this is not interesting to me. I think it's got some really cool people in it. Willem Dafoe. It's got Lily Rose Depp in it. Yeah, I guess I'm sure people are going to love it. It looks very kind of jarring and gothic and epic and very scary. And they have Bill Skarsgård playing the main character, which that's like his thing now is like, I'm not the most attractive Skarsgård, so I'm just going to be the creepy guy in every movie.
Hey, he's got a type now.
Which I applaud him for. He's stuck by it. You know, he's only going to get better as he keeps going at these creepy characters.
Wait, did you see Barbarian yet?
No.
Watch Barbarian.
That's not Bill Skarsgård.
It's not?
Bill Skarsgård. Isn't Bill Skarsgård the guy from It?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, are we talking about the same movie?
I don't know, are we?
I don't know. Are we? I have to look. Wait, I'm
Bill
thinking of
Skarsgård's in Barbarian. I don't know why you're trying to challenge me.
because I'm thinking of a different Skarsgård. Who's the other Skarsgård? Eric Skarsgård?
Well, there's Stellan Skarsgård, who is
Alexander Skarsgård.
older.
So interesting. Bill Skarsgård's in It, The Crow, It Chapter 2, Barbarian.
He plays the new Crow.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? I know you're a big Crow guy.
That's gonna be horrible.
You're not happy about it?
No, Brandon Lee, they're not going to make a movie that's people are going to like better than Brandon Lee's The Crow. So
I apologize. I thought I got my two movies mixed up. Or should I say I got my Skarsgårds mixed up. I thought you were talking about Infinity Pool with Alexander Skarsgård, which is also a horror movie.
So you thought when I said the word Barbarian,
I pictured Infinity Pool. And so I was like, that's not the right Skarsgård. And you were like, yes, it is. And so I had to double check the title. That's my
see Barbarian.
Why would I see that? It looks terrifying from the picture that I see. It's like red. Like that looks terrifying.
So Lacey, who are you? Like you watch Smile.
No, I watched the one scene because I got so crazy. It was like a car crash. I couldn't look away. I don't like scary movies.
All right.
But the only one that I've accepted is Ready or Not. That is the only one that I've like actually enjoyed. But I wouldn't even call it a scary movie. That's just horror. So
how I understand this is Nosferatu is not your thing, even though it's a gothic tale about a haunted young woman and a terrifying vampire who's infatuated with her. Not into that.
He's not like, we're not talking like attractive vampires like Interview with a Vampire or Twilight. We're talking about someone that's absolutely disgusting with long nails and like walks like this, like ugh. Like that's the type of vampire we're talking about. We're not talking about, actually, funny enough, we're not talking about Alexander Skarsgård being a hot vampire in True Blood. We're talking about Bill Skarsgård being the creepiest vampire known to man that is going to come eat you and your children. So no, I'm not interested.
All right. I'm not saying I'm going to see this either, but it does look like it was well made. I mean, it has a very
of course. It looks beautiful as a film.
Yeah, it has a classic feel to it. But I'll admit I'm not super familiar with the Nosferatu story. I know the original movie came out over 100 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see what they do. I don't know if this is some sort of like attempt at relaunching these, classic horror movies the way they stumbled with that Mummy with Tom Cruise. But
Mhm.
this probably isn't going to be in my radar, if I'm being honest. It looks great, but it's just not really in my wheelhouse. But what is in my wheelhouse?
Wait, I didn't finish talking about that.
You're not done talking about this?
No. So the original came out in 1922. That's bananas.
I
But
just said that.
I understand that. But the other thing that I guess part of the reason why I don't want to see this movie is when I was in film school, they had a poster of this in the media lab where you'd work really late at night. And it was like the character that was like on the poster.
Yeah.
And it's seared in my mind as something that would thoroughly creep me out when I was working at like 2 a.m. So I have no intention of watching this movie.
She's got a date at midnight with Nosferatu.
Yeah, very creepy.
Little typo negative for everybody out there. All right. Lacey, here. Are you done? Do you want to talk? We can talk more Nosferatu. We can get into the origin story, his family life. Is there anything else about Nosferatu?
Nosferatu, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay. All right. I think we are about to witness the comeback to prominence for Tom Hanks in this next one called
That's bold.
Here, which I think is going to be good. I think you have Robert Zemeckis back with Tom Hanks and Robin Wright Penn, that pairing from Forrest Gump. Obviously, Zemeckis has worked with Hanks in Castaway and other things. Very comfortable relationship. But this trailer like moved me because I don't know if it's like the age I'm at, or having 2 kids and like watching them grow up, and Instagram constantly telling me like, make sure you play with your kids because one day they're going to be older. It's just, I've been probably more existential than I ever have been. And watching this is the most existential movie experience you could have, which is this camera is just going to be in this one spot from the age of the dinosaurs through this family falling in love and raising a family in this house, all the way through their old age. It has, I guess, even though I haven't seen the whole movie, like Up vibes in that regard.
You haven't even seen Up.
I said I saw the beginning.
You can't compare Up to this movie if you haven't actually seen the movie.
I'm not comparing it, but I see the 2 old people holding their hands in a house, and like, I mean, we're not doing rocket science here. But my point is, I think this is going to be a big comeback for Tom Hanks. Zemeckis always seems to deliver, and I got emotional watching a lot of the scenes in this movie because I started thinking about me and my kids and like how life goes fast and kids grow up and you get old and all of a sudden you blink and life's over. I'm really aware of that. So this movie is going to be a tough watch for me, but I feel like I really need to watch it, and I'm really it's one that I think I might even go see in the theater, whether it's with my wife or what have you. But November 15th, right around Thanksgiving, people start getting into those, emotional feelings of family. I think it's the right time. And I think it's going to be a hit for Tom Hanks, who hasn't really had one in a while. So get him back with Zemeckis. You got Robin Wright Penn there, Jenny Gump. It's almost like this is the Gump multiverse, but I think it's going to be really good. And I think it could be even, if it's as good as this trailer looks, we could be looking at re-entering Tom Hanks into the award conversation, and potentially the movie, but we'll see. A trailer is just a trailer. But from what I see, I enjoy it. What about you? Are you a Zemeckis fan? Are you a Tom Hanks fan overall? And what do you think of this trailer?
So I don't know how I'm going to follow what you just said, because you had like a very deep emotional answer of your connection to this trailer of like why you like it. And I just feel like I'm just being mean by saying I didn't like it at all.
Oh, that's fine.
I know,
Go
but
ahead.
I feel bad. Like I feel bad when people are like, "Oh, this is so amazing. I love it." And I'm like,
I don't. I'm glad we are disagreeing.
I
For
love Tom
podcasting.
Hanks. Sure. I love Tom Hanks. I'm a big fan of him and You've Got Mail. I've said that before. I love everything. I love him in Toy Story. I think he's just one of those guys that, like, if it ever came out that he did something terrible, I think the world would end, because he's just like that kind of guy. Recently we were talking about how like he was texting his son about like rapper beef being like, can you explain to me the fights between these rappers? He just seems like such a genuine person. Anyway, this movie to me, I think the concept is interesting. I think it's innovative and creative in the sense of we've never seen something like this before. The de-aging already looks a little meh to me. Like they have a shot where Robin Wright Penn is up close to the camera and you can clearly tell she's de-aged. And I'm like, okay, so there goes the whole budget to de-aging people this whole movie. I don't know. It didn't hit with me. I was like, okay, so this camera's in the same spot the whole time. And look, I might go watch it and love it. I'm telling you, from this trailer, I was kind of like, this movie looks really boring. And that's why I didn't want to go after you, because I feel like you really enjoyed it. And I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you liked it.
I feel like we're at different spots. I feel like you haven't hit your existential period yet.
That's not true. I was crying the other day watching an Instagram reel of this girl whose daughter just turned 5, and she did one of those reels where she's like, my daughter over the past 5 years, and like showing her as like in the hospital and holding a baby. And I started sobbing because I was like, oh my God, my baby's never going to be a baby anymore. And then the next morning when I was holding Archie, I was like holding him for a very, very long time because I was like, he's never going to be this age ever again.
And this did nothing for you?
No, it just seemed very... I don't know how to explain it. So it's like Tom Hanks has been trying so hard to do these kind of roles like Walt Disney and Mr. Rogers and now this, that it just doesn't, it's not hitting with me.
Oh, I thought, well, the Mr. Rogers, I think, was a massive mistake. I think he was poorly miscast.
I know. I just see Tom Hanks, though. I don't see characters now. I see Tom Hanks.
I have a hard time.
I don't want to take away from his abilities, his skills, there's a reason he's an A-list actor. There's a reason he's won awards. I don't want to take that away from him. Same with Robert Zemeckis. I don't think he's one of the best filmmakers of our time. Like, he's done so many amazing films that have touched a lot of people. I'm not saying that this film won't. I'm just saying from this trailer, to me, it looked like they hit on, look at this family growing old together. Isn't it so wonderful? Here's a song everybody likes. Isn't it great? And I was like, no.
Wow. All right. I am very surprised. All right.
I am so sorry.
Let's move on to a movie that's clearly in your wheelhouse.
It really is.
Red One, really starring Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, J.K. Simmons, directed by Jake Kasdan, brother of John Kasdan, son of the legend Lawrence Kasdan. Also in theaters November 15th. So going head to head with Here. I will be in theater A watching Here, and Lacey will be in theater B watching Red One.
Yes, I will.
Because she's so excited to watch a story of a jacked Santa Claus getting kidnapped.
Okay, J.K. Simmons looks amazing in this film, first of all. Let's give props.
He's on the gas.
The 2024 is the year of biceps, apparently.
Anabolic steroids are back.
So the funny thing is, going off of the last trailer where you gave this beautiful understanding of what the trailer was about and what it meant to you and why you care about it so much, that I can't help but laugh, because I was watching this trailer before the show and I was sitting here laughing going, man, this trailer's great.
For Red One?
Yes, it's The Rock saving Santa at Christmas with Lucy Liu, who, by the way, is doing this like raspy voice, which is not her voice. I don't know what she's doing. And it's got Chris Evans playing this like, it's always the same bit, right? It's he's on the naughty list. He could never help. And then it's like by the end of the movie, he's clearly on the nice list. The only thing I wish, honestly, is that The Rock wasn't in it. I wish it was someone else, but I'm still gonna be watching it. It looks great. It looks really funny. I love Christmas movies. Which, by the way, can we talk about for a second? Speaking of Christmas movies, that they announced they're doing a Hallmark Chiefs football crossover.
No, can we not
Christmas
talk about
movie.
that? Let's just not talk about that at all. Or quit this podcast.
Come on. That is so crazy to me that they're doing that. So if we're talking about Christmas movies, it should be lined up right next to this one because that's
Oh my God.
happening.
I hope Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have a horrible breakup.
It's not their story though. It's just the Chiefs signed on to let Hallmark basically use their stadium and their branding for a movie.
I know. I just wanted to say that.
Okay, well, I love Christmas movies, so the red one is love it.
So just so I can understand this for my own mental health.
Go ahead, break it down.
So Tom Hanks, it just looks too Tom Hanksy for you to see Tom Hanks playing a character.
Sure.
But let's swing the pendulum over to the red one.
Sure.
And The Rock, who always is bald with no facial hair and always wears some sort of tepid khaki greenish brown clothes, is just, you're dialed into the Secret Service agent protecting Santa.
He's not a Secret Service agent.
Whatever he is. Who is he?
He's like Santa's bodyguard.
I don't know. Halfway when I saw the walking polar bear strutting his stuff, that's when I shut off the trailer. I was like, I can't watch this crap.
This movie is going to make buckets of money.
No, it's not. Right? It's going to bomb.
Yes, it is. No, it is not. It's going to make buckets of money. Buckets.
I don't think so. I think people are rocked out.
You want to do a bet on that?
Sure.
What is our bet on here?
Well, our bet on here. Well,
I think buckets. I think this movie is going to do more than what it made. It cost to make. Like, is it going to make $1 billion? No, but I think it's going to make well above what it cost to make. So I don't know how much it costs.
How much do you think Red One cost to make?
Probably 300 mil.
300 million?
Yeah. How much was Indiana Jones?
The budget is $250 million.
I'm not that off.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, this movie's not going to make money.
I think this movie's going to make 400 mil.
Oh, God.
I think it's going to make $400 million. 401 if we're playing by Price is Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could be right because Jake Kasdan did the Jumanji sequels, which I guess made money.
Yes, they did.
But this movie should be on Netflix. That's what this should be.
No, it should be in theaters so I can see it in all its glory.
All right. I'll be seeing Tom Hanks re-enter the Oscar conversation.
Enjoy crying next door while I'm enjoying my popcorn and laughing at Santa.
I will. I will. All right. We have one more trailer and then we'll get to what we're watching or going to be watching. But Fly Me to the Moon. So final trailer. This movie opens July 18th. We are a healthy 50... How many years has it been since the moon landing? Like 55 years. And here we are with Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson. And it's this... I assume fabricated situation where they did a backup plan and filmed a fake moon landing just in case the original didn't work. And you got two very charismatic romantic leads here with Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson. When you watch this, did you buy the chemistry? That's the most important thing always. And what do you think of this premise? And will it cause more of the conspiracy theorists to come out and say, this is exactly what they did. This is what they did.
The first thing that stuck out to me is how big Channing Tatum's neck got before the trailer started, where he's like standing there with Scarlett Johansson.
Did you notice the weirdest
Did
thing?
you notice though? I
did not notice his neck. No.
It's looking very chonky. I don't know if he's on steroids. I don't know what's going on, but it didn't look like him. I was like, who is that?
Maybe he was sitting like doing one of these.
He was standing though. But him and Scarlett Johansson opened the trailer like, this is the trailer for our movie. And I was like, who is she with? Oh my God, is that Channing Tatum?
His hair looked very dark.
Yeah, that's the thing that started. whatever. Regardless, I think Scarlett Johansson looks great in this movie. I think the trailer's interesting. It doesn't interest me. Like, I wouldn't go see this movie. I'm not dying to see it. I think the premise is interesting, but I feel like this isn't something people are going to care about right now. Is that fair?
I'm realizing something that I didn't know was possible, and is that I don't know anything about you as a human being.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
I'm going down this list, and I'm like, all right, let's
Okay,
see.
go ahead.
Nosferatu, Lacey will hate that. Here, she's gonna like that.
Nope.
Red One, she's gonna think is crap because the Rock with the peeing and the sets and the bottles. She's like,
It's got Santa. I forgive
and
all that
then
stuff.
Fly Me to the Moon, she's gonna love because it's got the Rami stuff going on in it with two big, attractive stars. So, you definitely surprised me on your takes on these trailers.
Well, got to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, for sure. I could see myself watching this, but I'm not going to the theaters to see this.
No, I'd watch it on demand.
Yeah.
This is a movie that should go to Netflix. How about that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're bankable stars. This comes out a week before Deadpool, so this movie doesn't make money week one. See ya.
Might as well fly it to the moon because it is.
Yeah, well, nice. It does. I mean, it looks like it's well made because it does feel like they captured a nice 60s style, and I love Woody Harrelson who's in it. The budget's $100 million. Can they make $200 million with this? I don't know. We'll see.
I think this is a movie that should have come out at a different time period. It should have come out in the fall.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or like August. People love rom-coms in August.
Yeah, you think they were just trying to release it around when the moon landing was, which was also July? Maybe it's just coincidence.
That just seems like a coincidence. Because I haven't seen any press for this movie, and it's coming out in like a couple weeks.
Yeah, I've never
Movies
heard.
Got to have better marketing.
The director is Greg Berlanti. This is interesting. He directed. These are the movies he's directed: The Broken Hearts Club in 2000, Life as We Know It in 2010, and Love, Simon in 2018. That's it.
Oh, Love, Simon was good.
So maybe this is up your alley. He's also done a lot of producing and stuff like that. So, and he was an executive producer on Dawson's Creek. Fun fact. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. It looks charming enough. But the whole like moon landing hoax thing, there's actually enough people who really believe that I think that's going to create a bigger problem for me in conversations with the fringe people that you see around town.
With enough misinformation on the internet, the last thing we need is to stoke that flame.
Yeah. I will say this though: Scarlett Johansson looks great in this movie, and I know she has been trying to shy away from sort of the classic, basically what Sydney Sweeney's doing, the classic beauty look. Yeah. So I think she looks great. Channing Tatum, I think he's really fun to watch. I love the 21 Jump Street movies. But we'll see. But let's find out now. What are we watching, Lacey, in our last segment of the day?
We can never leave the house, and would just probably sit around all weekend and watch TV.
Go on.
John, I'm going to be honest. I'm not watching much.
Nothing?
Well, I watched The Acolyte, which episode 5 was bananas, as we would say.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. If you have, go check out TRB, where we talk about it in detail with Kevin from Toying Around in the Boba Squadron podcast. It was just really, really great. As for things to watch, I still got to watch Fall Guy. It's still on my list to watch. That's all I got on my list right now.
All right. I'm watching The Acolyte. We're going to be talking about episode 6 live this Wednesday at 8:30 East on our YouTube channel, and of course on the podcast feeds thereafter. I started watching. Me and Kathleen started watching The Floor, the Rob Lowe game show, where people have to like face off against each other, one-on-one in trivia battles to take over slots on the floor, and you want to like get as much property as you can by beating other people. It's interesting, but what I didn't find out, and I probably missed this because I wasn't watching it back then, was this show uses AI artwork.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. So, and I like Rob Lowe. You know, he's been around forever, and the premise is cool. And you know, I can look past that, but I hate that. But it's an interesting premise. So if they learn their lesson and fix that for future seasons, I think it could be a cool game show. Because it is unique and it's hard to find an interesting hook for a unique game show these days. So that was interesting.
Netflix has been getting in trouble a lot lately with using AI for stuff. They used AI photos in a true crime documentary series a couple months back. They like took a woman and threw her photos into AI and made up fake crime photos.
This is Hulu. This was Fox. Fox.
Oh, I thought this was on Netflix.
This was Fox, and then it was distributed on Hulu.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like AI. I don't like the idea of using it for I understand using it to help you do things like, I don't know, rewording something or whatever. I don't agree with it in the sense of creating art and video that takes away roles from creative services, from creative people and artists. Like the whole Toys R Us ad that got published this week that was done in Sora AI that looks like trash, that they were like, this is a first, you know, a brand commercial made completely with AI. And it looks like it was made with AI because you can always tell because you can never get hands right.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Also rewatched the first 2 Beverly Hills Cops movies. And I'm going to be watching the new one, Axel F, this Wednesday. On July 3rd, July 4th Eve. So that's what I'm watching. But yeah, let us know what you're all watching out there, whether it's on streaming or TV or movies, because we are always looking for new things to watch beyond what we have on our list. And let us know what you think about the stuff we've talked about today, whether it's those news topics, Superman. Are you pissed at us about our Jurassic takes from last week? How about Shrek? You still dialed in on that? And what about all these trailers that I thought Lacey would like that she didn't? Am I crazy to think that Zemeckis and Hanks have another winner here?
John's like, do I not know her?
Or is Lacey just absolutely lost her mind that she's so locked into Red One that she might be there in theaters 2 weeks before Thanksgiving or whatever? Anyway, we want to thank everybody for listening and watching to Nerdy and Nice. It's been a journey, and we are hitting double digits next week. It'll be our 10th episode. Once the Acolyte finishes and we're done with that run for TRB and we go back to our normal TRB live, we should entertain doing a first Nerdy Nice giveaway. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff planned for this show that's just been a little bit put on pause because, you know, Star Wars takes over sometimes. And I'm sure that will happen with this show at times when other shows come out that we want to cover.
And we also want people to we wanted to set the sort of foundation and the base of what this is going to be. We're going to have new segments, new interactive things, get your comments in here. But we just wanted to sort of set the tone and see what people thought of this. So thank you to everybody who's been sending feedback and listening and rating us and sharing this. We appreciate it very much. And we couldn't do the show without our Patreon support. No doubt about it. So if you are liking what we do and you're interested, head to patreon.com/TRB podcasts. Tiers start at $5 per month. We have exclusive mini episodes for this show, pop culture based topics, also exclusive stuff for the Resistance broadcast, for your Star Wars itch, and a lot of other great stuff. We did our Q&A this past week live where you ask us any question you want about anything. So check it out. And the support is greatly appreciated. It allows us to spend the time that we do making these shows. So please consider patreon.com/TRB podcasts. And a special shout out to our movie star generals and our silver screen spice runners. Carmelo, John Risi, Jenna Rosewater, Frank Grande, Nick Kratz, Chris Morales, Brian Smith, Danny, Mike Rumore, Brennan McLaughlin, Sneaky Zebra, Dave Hornack, Jolton Jedi DiMaggio, and Colin Cormier, and David Probus, Neil Shaw, Kendall Gelner, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, and THEFORTWORTHIAN. Thank you all so much. And however you listen to us and take us in, we appreciate that so much. Johnny Hoey for me on X. Hit me up about any movies, whatever, sports, whatever you want to talk about, music, Star Wars, of course. X is mainly the place where I do that type of chatting. And my nostalgic movie podcast, Just Like the Movies. We are in the process of trying to do Beverly Hills Cop, but we actually had to stop recording it because my wife broke her nose in the middle of recording. Yeah.
That happened when oh my God.
We were in the middle of recording and she broke her nose and I heard it upstairs and I had to run upstairs. So I have half a podcast on my computer somewhere I've got to finish later. But anyway.
Did she like scream or anything? Like, how'd you know what happened?
Everyone screamed. And then the door opened and Johnny was like, Mommy's bleeding everywhere. So my mind is like,
oh
she's
my
dying.
God. Yeah.
So yeah, I run upstairs and then, yeah. But
so what did he do? He tried to jump into his pajamas, you said?
He tried to jump into his pajamas and she was like helping him hold them and had her head down. And when he jumped, his head hit her nose up. So her nose broke, but it's still aligned. So she doesn't need any realignment. I actually might need a little realignment, but she's good. She's all right. But it was.
Oh, he probably felt so bad.
Oh, that was the thing. I was juggling, helping her, and making sure the kids were calm.
He's crying. Oh my God.
She's got blood coming out of her face like a pro wrestler, like Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 7. It was just wild.
God.
But we're okay. We're whole. The nose on the mend, and we'll be all right. But Lacey, where can people talk to you about how much you just hate romance and you are all about kidnapped jacked Santa Clauses?
I actually love romance. That's why I brought up the Hallmark Christmas movie, which I will definitely be watching. Yeah. You can find me on social media at Lacey Gilleran, on TikTok at It's Lacey Gilleran, and of course also on TRB, Resistance broadcast on Wednesday nights, Echo Night, which this week we are talking with Candace from Geeky Waffle. We're very excited to have her for the first time on TRB. And I believe you sat next to her at the Indiana Jones premiere.
At Indiana Jones and Dial Destiny, Candace was right next to me. Yeah, what a wonderful time that was. It was a good time. She was a good tea partner.
She texted me and she was like, "I'm next to John and James right now," and I was like, "Oh, weird."
Yeah, that was the first time I met her, so I look forward to having her on the show and talking to her again. Yeah. All right, that's it. Thank you everybody for nerding out with us. Mondays are for the nerds. Tell your friends, and we'll see you next time right here on Nerdy and Nice. See you around, kids.